everybody. We are back again. Welcome again to Austin Sports Weekend. College football
is quickly approaching.
It is here. We've actually already had a couple games. Anybody who's watched us in the past know that we, on the college football, there's too many games going on, so we can't cover them all. We try to couple the top. We try to cover the top 15 ranked teams. So welcome again here, our second show from the beautiful SevierTV.com studio. So thanks again.
Looks much better than our old set, let me tell you that much.
What set? You mean just the curtains in the background? But yeah, thanks again to SevierTV.com for this, and thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Again, they got two locations, one in Sevierville, one in Pigeon Forge. So be sure to go by and visit them. But let's jump into some college football. We've already had two games that are inside the top 15. For some reason, week one is like 9 days, 10 days long. There's 10 days in week one. I haven't understood that one yet, why the NCAA did that. But anyways,
week zero, it's technically called week zero for like the first Saturday in late August.
Yeah.
That's technically what it's called.
We have had two top 15 teams, though. We had Notre Dame playing Navy, and Notre Dame looked pretty good. They won 42-3
Yeah, Notre
rather
Dame pretty
easily.
much spanked them across the field.
So Notre Dame ranked number 13 starting out. And then USC played San Jose State. And
USC had an offense. Yes, they do. But their
defense is still a little questionable. They've still got a Big 12 defense.
If you don't know what that is, that's slang for bad defense.
That's slang for they're going to give up 30 or 40 points no matter who they play. So San Jose State did score 28, but USD still won by 28. So their offense is still a powerhouse. So we'll have to watch them throughout the year. But let's jump into the real week one. We do have a Thursday top 15 game. It's early in the year to get a top 15 game on a Thursday, but we do, and it's a good one.
It's a pretty good one. It's Utah Utes, number 14 in the country,
taking on
the Florida Gators.
This is an interesting game because there's, some of the Utah players are injured. We're not sure if we're going to get a full stable out of Utah playing in this game.
To be fair, I don't think Florida's team is really that good this year from what I've really gotten the gist of.
From what we've seen in the preseason and heard from the rumors in the camp, they're not fantastic this year, but the line is only 6.5 points. Utah is only favored by 6.5 at home against Florida. So,
who would you take in that one? I might take me some Utah.
I would probably take Utah minus 6.5 there. It seems like a gimme, really. That is, if all the good players can play and they're not missing too many people, because Florida has looked pretty bad throughout the preseason. We'll go ahead and jump into Saturday's games. We have a noon game. I don't know if anybody noticed, but we're sort of Tennessee fans. I don't know, maybe just every now and then.
Maybe sort of
Tennessee fans.
Maybe just a tiny little bit.
And since we're in the top 15, we're obnoxious about it. So at least I am. So, anyway.
Maybe just a little obnoxious.
Just a little obnoxious. We've got Tennessee is playing in a neutral site. Nashville. I don't know if
technically that's not a neutral site.
It's supposed to. It's listed as a neutral site. So we got Tennessee as a neutral site taking on Virginia. Tennessee's favored by 28.
Virginia's kind of overmatched.
Yeah, Tennessee's actually favored by 28. I'm taking Tennessee by 50. I mean, it's game one. You got to think that Tennessee's going to try.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, you think they might actually put up like a 50-burger on them?
I think they'll put up more than 50 points on them, and the over and under is only 56. So I would definitely take me some Tennessee in that over. I think Tennessee wins by 30 to 35 points. So I think that one should be pretty easy. Virginia is overmatched, and it's in Nashville, so they're going to be able to take care of that one pretty easy. I think. There's not besides Florida, Utah. There's not a lot of super matchups this week. Sometimes you get that, sometimes you don't. We got East Carolina going to Michigan. And that may be the bloodbath of the week.
Michigan is going through a set of their own problems right now, but
East Carolina is too. They're really down this year. East Carolina is. Michigan's favored by a whopping 36.
I think Michigan will match that pretty easily.
I think Michigan will probably. This might be a 52-10 game, something like that too. Jumping on down in the top 15, Oregon is number 15. And they're playing Portland State. And I don't know if I've ever said Portland State before. I didn't even know Portland. I don't even know what Portland State is. I guess it's up somewhere near Oregon, but I'm not sure who Portland State is. It's so bad. There's not even a line on it. So
I think Oregon. Let's just say 100% of the country will think Oregon will win this game.
If that was 36, I'd probably take the 36.
If there was an extra 1%, I think they would take it.
Yeah, we've got Ohio State taking on Indiana. They are on the road. This is in Indiana.
But Ohio State hasn't lost to them in the last 28 or 29 games. So
is it that bad?
Yes,
it's been 28.
Yeah.
Gosh,
I've researched.
If they play once a year, that's like last century since the last time Indiana has beat them. So I think I'll go along with you and go with Ohio State. The line on it's 30. Do you think Ohio State beats them by 30 plus?
Going by how the programs have been trending, I think that is a good call.
I think that might be good. Ohio State is ranked number 3 in the country. That is behind Georgia being number 1, Michigan being number 2. At number 10, we have I don't know if you call it a surprise, but a not usual character in the top 10. We have the Washington Huskies at number 10.
They play in Boise.
Now, this one may be. This will probably be another one of the better games because we got Boise State at Washington. And Boise State always puts up a fight. It doesn't matter who they are. They're not in the best shape this year that they've ever been. They're going to be down a little bit this year. Washington is favored by 14.5, which is a pretty lot. Again, I don't know much about the Huskies because they're not usually this good. So I don't know if they're going to be this good, or I don't know if they're not going to be this good.
Well, Washington did show themselves very well come last season when they went 12-2 or 11-2 actually.
Yeah, they did finish strong too. So you want to take what? You think Washington will beat Boise State by more than 2 touchdowns?
I think that could be. I think that one's good. I think I'll take that 14.
Number 11 is we got some Longhorns.
Every single year it's been like this, so I'm honestly not surprised.
I'm waiting for week 2 of Texas. That's going to be really the one that tells you who they are. But in week 1 they play Rice, and
they're going to have some chicken with that rice.
That'll be an utter complete blowout too.
Blowout.
It could blow out and then blow out. Yeah. Number 13 is Notre Dame. Notre Dame looked really good in their first game. And this week they only play Tennessee State.
I think they'll win that game.
I think they'll win that game
now,
too.
If it was Tennessee, it might be more
points.
of a challenge, but if it's not...
That would be a really good game. I'd love to see Tennessee play Notre Dame. I've always liked to watch Tennessee play Notre Dame. They're always good games. But it's just Tennessee State this week, so Notre Dame probably wins by 30 or more. The number 1 team in the country, the Georgia Bulldogs.
The back-to-back national champion Georgia Bulldogs trying to reclaim their championship.
How many people have won 3 in a row, national champions?
It's been a terribly long...
I don't think it's ever happened, has it?
I don't think it's ever happened.
I think it's ever happened. Nebraska a couple times, Alabama a couple times. I don't think anybody's ever won 3 in a row. But anyways, they're not playing. They're playing UT Martin. So we got a lot of Tennessee States, a lot of UT Martins playing some big dogs. We got UT Martin at Georgia, so the line's so big on that one, it's not there either. So it's a 30-plus point game too. And here is actually maybe the biggest one of the week. We got Nevada at USC.
USC doesn't have a defense, but they got an offense.
Yeah, the line's 38 on this one.
Everything that is expected from Lincoln Riley. Everything that is expected.
50-plus points on offense, 30-plus points on defense.
There is absolutely no consistency on the defensive. That's going to worry me throughout the year.
No. Nevada, again, I haven't seen that much about them, but they did finish the season last year on, I know it was at least a 5-game losing streak. They lost to UNLV, Fresno, Boise, San Jose State, San Diego State. They lost to all 5 straight to end the season last year. So I'm thinking USC probably hammers them pretty good too. If they haven't improved more than that over the offseason, then it's going to be a bloodbath on that one too. Number 4 in the country. So we got Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and then
Alabama.
Alabama. We got the SEC sandwich there with the two Big Ten pieces in the middle. And Alabama's playing a Tennessee team, too. Middle Tennessee State.
What? You see a theme going on
Do you see a
here.
theme there? Yeah, everybody's wanting to play Tennessee as long as it ain't Tennessee.
Hey, you could call Vanderbilt, maybe.
Call it Vanderbilt? I don't know. Middle Tennessee State might do better. Middle Tennessee State, honestly, I guess this is the biggest line. I didn't look at this one. It's 39. Alabama's favored by 39.
Knowing Nick Saban, he's going to continue to be Nick Saban as long as Nick Saban is Nick Saban.
And Nick Saban is Nick Saban. But who's their quarterback?
They'll probably find someone off the street and they win 10 games. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Alabama's struggling to find a quarterback. So I don't know what that means. Again, it doesn't mean anything because Nick Saban is
Nick Saban,
and he'll take Ralph Jones, the third-string quarterback, and probably win the national title this year with him. So, but Middle Tennessee State's not a pushover. I don't know about that 39 points. I don't know. That was a little iffy to me. Would you take Middle Tennessee State plus 39? I don't know. That seems a little weird.
I'm gonna take that Alabama.
Take out Alabama. All right, jumping into number 7, we got another team that normally starts out inside the top 15 but never finishes there. Penn State.
Oh boy, time to bring back an old meme. Big Game James.
Now, Penn State started out good last year. They started out really good. I thought they were going to have a really good positive year, but then
they fell to Michigan and Ohio State again.
Yeah,
but you did win the Rose Bowl.
The only reason they went to the Rose Bowl was because the other two Big Ten teams were in the playoffs. So that's sort of just by default they even went to the game. Yeah, they went to the Rose Bowl, so they shouldn't have even been in the Rose Bowl. But they were playing West Virginia. West Virginia, again, is not going to be much of a powerhouse this year. They're favored by 20.5 points. I would probably take Penn State. Penn State starts out strong. They always want to make a statement, so they'll make a statement in this game, and then the questions will be when they come up against
the big
Michigan,
Ohio State,
and Ohio State. Normally they lose those two, and then they lose the momentum and they taper off towards the end of the year. So
isn't that a theme with
That's
James
a pattern.
Franklin?
That is the Penn State pattern. Yeah,
that's the James Franklin.
I thought
pattern.
that, and I honestly thought they were going to break that pattern last year, but they just turned out that they didn't. All right, and then what's probably going to be the game of the week? It's definitely the game of the week. This is going to be fantastic.
Anyone up for LSU against Florida State?
How good is that? Now, normally again, college football is a Saturday sport. We get the majority on Saturday. We'll get a little sprinkling on Thursday, maybe Friday, but Saturday. This is a Sunday game. Probably because the NFL doesn't start until the next Sunday. So we've got this really juicy game, LSU and Florida State.
At a neutral site.
This
is the big kickoff game.
The Camping World Kickoff.
LSU, I think the Chick-fil-A name kind of sounds a little better, but hey, it's kickoff game.
Yeah, I like the Chick-fil-A kickoff. We went to that game a couple times in the past. LSU, Florida State.
This is going to be the toughest to call.
This is so good. LSU is number 5 in the country right now, starting out the season.
You got Brian Kelly with all the momentum.
They finished out the year really, really strong. Tennessee kicked their butt, and then
they got their butts into gear.
That woke them up or something. I don't know what. But
they won like a lot of games after that.
They went on around. Hey, they won the SEC West. I mean, how many times does LSU win the SEC West over Alabama?
Not too terribly much.
Especially not in the first year of a new coach. So I'm thinking, I don't know. The line's 2.5. LSU's favored by 2.5. I like LSU.
You want to pick LSU?
Yeah, because Florida State, again, I think LSU is more proven than Florida State is right now. LSU went through the SEC West and won it. I mean, they won the games that they needed to win at the end of the season in the SEC, which is
they couldn't, and Florida State couldn't really get over Clemson.
No, so Florida State is still a little unproven to me. LSU, especially if it's only a field goal game. If LSU wins 31-28, it's a winner. You've won. You've covered that game. So again, I mean, that's just going to be a fantastic game. You don't get too many good ones starting out, but we've got a really, really good one starting out here. That's a Sunday game at 7:30 at night. That's a weird one. That's like a Sunday night football game. But again,
good old Sunday night.
The NFL's not on, so we're going to get us some college. They're going to spread it out as much as they can and get as much viewers as they can, get as much revenue from the advertising as they can.
You know, ESPN, they'll need all the money they can at the moment, but that's beside the point.
It's on ABC, that game, man. Earlier in the day, there's actually two games on Sunday. Oregon State plays San Jose State, but they saved the juicy one for 7:30. And now there's actually a Monday night game. Again, there's no NFL, so we're going to get Monday night football.
And it's going to be Clemson.
It's college.
Clemson and Duke.
Yeah, this one I think is really, really interesting. Clemson is top 10. They're number 9.
Well, what season are they not anymore? Anyway.
Mm-hmm. But they're at Duke, which Duke.
They finished 9-4 last year,
which is good. But I would think Clemson would be favored by more than 13. But that's all they're favored by is just 13. So
I might take that line for Clemson.
I would probably take it too. I think Clemson again is going to want to try to prove a point early that they should be a top 10 team, and of course they're going to have to play Florida State, so they've got that game coming up later. They're going to have to play Notre Dame. They've got that game coming up later. They're going to have to play North Carolina. All three of those teams are top 25 teams. As of right now, they're top 25 teams. They may not be top 25 teams by the time they get out, but they have to play those three later. So I think they're going to want to try to make a statement right up front. That way, if they happen to lose one later, it doesn't hurt as much. But that is it. That is our top 15 picks for the week. And just to cover again our top 15 teams, we've got Georgia number 1.
We got Michigan number 2. Ohio State number 3. Alabama number 4. And number 5
is LSU. Number 6 is USC. 7, Penn State.
8 is Florida State. 9 is Clemson. 10, Washington.
Washington Huskies. Again, that's odd saying Washington Huskies top 10, but
11, we got the Texas Longhorns.
Mm-hmm.
Sliding in at number 12 is the Tennessee Volunteers.
13 is Notre Dame. 14
is Utah, and 15th is Oregon.
15 is Oregon. And after week 1, that's probably going to change quite a bit, so we could see some new teams. We could see some stuff bump up. We could see some stuff bump down. Is there anybody you think shouldn't be in the top 15, or anybody that should be in the top 15? I think those teams are actually pretty solid. I might have Oregon up a little bit higher,
and Texas lower,
and maybe Texas a little bit lower. I'm not sure if Washington. Again, I'm just not used to seeing Washington there, so I'm not for sure.
Well, it's been since the 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm. But Georgia had 60 first-place votes. Michigan had 2. Ohio State had 1. So Michigan is overwhelmingly the number 1 team right now, and until somebody beats them, they're going to be the number 1 team. But that's it. That is college football for week 0 and 1. For week 1, that is
0.1 or 0.5 or
however the NCAA wants to split it up to make as much money as possible. The dinosaur that is the NCAA. But anyways, we hope you had fun with us. Be sure and catch us again. NFL football starts in about 2 weeks-ish, 10 days or so. So this will be our only sports video for this week because NFL's not starting until next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. But we will have a NFL video next week, and we'll have a week 2 video for our college football next week. So we appreciate everybody checking us out. Thanks again to SevierTV.com for setting us up with this. Thanks again for Autographs Plus for sponsoring us. Other than that, we will see you next week.
See you next week.